Have you ever had people like compliment you, but it's really not you don't feel like it's a compliment?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
So the guy, we're going to get to the ghosting guy in a minute.
Okay.
But while he was hitting on me, I was wearing this very beautiful dress with like a keyhole in the middle. The girls are out, the whole thing. And anyways, he's complimenting my body, but keeps mentioning how thick it is and how much he loves how thick it is. And I know he thinks that he's giving me a compliment, but I'm like, you could just tell me I'm beautiful. You know what I mean? So then he's like, how do you feel about your body? Excuse me? I go, I feel just fine. And you have known me long enough to know that no matter if I'm super skinny or big girl, I'm going to show it off. I don't care. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I go, I'm fine. He goes, see, it's the confidence you have with a body like that that turns me on the most.
Oh, dude.
And I'm like, I feel like I know what you're trying to say, but shut up.
It's like
shut up.
It's like somebody coming up and saying, I love that at your age, you can still go out there and act like a 30-year-old.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks.
And I'm like, just you're no good at this. I know. Julie, I try to give him a pass because he's been married a long time and he's like newly divorced, but we'll be like, you're not doing this right. You're not doing this well at all.
Okay, like I know that I'm only, 6, 7, 8 months single or whatever I am right now, but there's definitely a learning curve when you get back out there. I know for me, my first month, I was almost like expectant, like obviously I'm awesome and so are you, so why aren't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some people, like I have this one buddy, these 2 chicks came in. He goes, I got so mad. Those 2 women came in and they didn't even come and talk to me. I'm like, why don't you go talk to them?
Right.
Stupid.
Right. It takes a couple to get brought back onto earth. And if he's newly single or newly divorced, like maybe he's making his missteps along the way. So
we hang out. Yeah, he is. And you can't like misstepping with somebody like me. I'll just be like, what? Tell you.
Yeah.
So he was standing there. He was buying me drinks. We went from there to another spot, and then he ghosted me. He like left. Which has happened to me, like has never happened to me, but I do it all the time.
Yeah.
So I go walk into my friend's winery, and sure enough, he's gone. Right. So yesterday morning, he text messaged me, I'm sorry. I don't even remember leaving. Can we have a do-over? And I didn't write him back. And I was like, and I told you in the morning that I'm going to either not write him back at all, or I'm going to let him know that I'm just not interested. I don't date newly divorced guys. And this guy wasn't newly divorced looking for a good time guy. This was emotional newly divorced guy. And that's a hard no for me. I'm not doing it. And so then a couple hours later, he wrote me, hello, with the question mark. And then I wrote him back, and I feel like I was nice. I said, I had a good time with you yesterday. Glad you made it home safe, but I'm not interested. And he wrote back, thanks.
Yeah.
And you feel it was cool that he even wrote me back, because like most men would be like, so the last time I told somebody, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested, he blocked me from everything. Like he was so embarrassed that he immediately deleted me and blocked me and never talked to me again. But this guy was like, thanks for being honest, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's, you know what? Yeah. Like I felt like you both put a good bow on it,
Okay.
Like you wrapped it up and there was a solid bow for both of you. Not interested?
Me too, because
okay, cool, thanks.
Me too, because when I was seeing my fave bartender's name is Kenny. If you ever see him in the hotel, tell him I said hi. And he was making me a burger, and he was there the day before. And he's like, I've seen that guy in here before. So I was like, I better wrap this up in case he comes in again, and then things are really weird,
Yeah, let's just be cool about all this. Yeah.
Yeah,
no doubt. No, you always want to kind of put that bow on it. I think I think men are more emo about this maybe than women are in some aspects. Like I know
really are. Men are super emo. Men are super emo about divorce, and none of them come out and say it. And men are also super emo about sex. Men equate sex to emotions, and not all women do. So
yeah, no, I'm emo about divorce.
yeah, you're super emo. Yeah, but you have always been super honest. Not all men are as honest as you.
Yeah,
And
that's
and
true.
you're a different type of man. Like with the sticky notes that you enjoy and stuff. Like when I would do that to men, they'd run hella fast. Like hella fast. But you're into it. So you're an exception. You really are.
Yeah.
Because at least you're open about it. You know what I mean? But when men are like, if you hook up with me on the first night, blah blah blah, or if we waited, that's making sex emotional. So quit making the women out to be the crazy ones and making sex emotional. That's you guys.
Yeah, I guess that could be some. I don't know.
Super emo, Cindy. See.
Yeah, for me, I get emo about it because that's just how I desensitize myself. Like that's how, and you and I do that with all sorts of uncomfortable situations. But like, you know, for me, like with divorce, the way that I cope, the way that I get through it is I just point out every single uncomfortable, awful thing about it so that it's in my face, so that the more I hear it and see it, the less it hurts over time. You know, it's I'm callousing myself to it basically. And that's how I process uncomfortable things. Like when you and I got in trouble a few years ago, the very first thing we did was like within seconds make a joke, and our boss was like, "Whoa, too soon." We're like, "No, that's how we deal." You know,
that's how we deal with it. This is just how we do things around here. This is
our process.
Yes. Like, oh my God, remember when you got divorced when you couldn't even see out of one eye?
Right.
That sucked, right? Did that suck for you?
remember, like within a 3-month span, you detached your retina, you got divorced, and like your childhood best friend passed away.
I know.
Like,
and look at you, you're like laughing about it.
But I'm not. But
he's not laughing at the situation. But
it's
you know
like,
what I mean.
Like the more I like, and I know it's unfair. I know it makes other people uncomfortable. But the more I say it out loud to myself, like the less that it. And I know it's a little monosyllabic. I know that it's a little archaic. I guess that's the part of me that in my adult life, the part of me that never really grew up was the part of me that processed uncomfortable emotions.
Yeah.
And so that part of me just desensitizes myself to it by putting it in my face.
I've hung out with newly divorced guys who don't want to talk about it. She's crazy. Let's just have a good time. And then I've hung out with newly divorced guys that just cry all the time. And neither one of them are for me.
Yeah.
The situation in my life right now. The one that I hooked up with over the weekend, he was going through some stuff, and that was a fun time, but we were pretty brutally honest about it from the beginning. But emotional, I'm out.
Yeah. Because and you make a really good point, because like you're saying, like where you're at right now, that's not for you. So like for me, where I'm at, like I still got some things that I'm processing, but like I'm, you know, I think that I'm mostly okay, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
I'm hanging out,
like,
but I'm hanging out with somebody that's also going through something pretty traumatic. And so while you never want to lean on and just dump all of your past and all of your stuff on somebody, it does help to have somebody that's also going through something similar that you can kind of share similar experiences with, you know?
Yeah. When I hung out with that guy, when I hooked up with that guy this weekend, and we were talking about like he unloaded, I unloaded, and we had some fun and all of the things. But it was like up front, like we were going to unload on each other. We both know that we're not going to get into a relationship. And that was fun, and I needed it. But I know for me, like the next one, like I'm ready. That's the one thing that I did learn about I learned a lot with my last relationship, is that I'm ready for the family and for all of that stuff. And you know me, for the last 6 years, I have been sworn against that. Nope, I want casual. I don't want a man in my life. I want them to leave in the morning. I want them out. I want to leave. I take all my stuff on the way out for a reason. I don't leave any anchors. But after I was all in with that guy and I cared about him a lot, and I want that feeling back. And that's what I'm ready for. So I blew off some steam this weekend, but I also know that guy isn't what I'm looking for.
I mean, I told you.
You told me so. I know.
For years and years and years, I'm never getting married again. I'm not doing this again. No way, no way, no way. But
I miss it. I don't miss that guy himself, but I miss the building the fires and making the family dinners and the, dancing in the kitchen and the waking up with each other. I miss it.
That's what I was going to say. The one thing about you is that you love hard and you like to love hard. And if you don't have somebody to love hard, you miss that. And you miss everything that goes along with it. Absolutely. I'm not faulting you for that. Yeah. I'm just saying I told you. But I'm happy. I'm glad that you're at that spot. But I told you.
Thank you. You did tell me. You did tell me multiple times.
I know. You told me that I was gonna like not be a player when I was single, and you're totally right. Like I'm not. Like,
I was like, there's no way you're gonna be able to do it. There's no way you're gonna be able to live Madden style for 6 years. No way.
No, it's not me. I don't have it in me. I can't serve. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it 6 years ago.
I know. You're not walk of shame guy. You're not hookup guy. It's just not in you.
But I wonder how much of that is also I don't have the stamina in me, you know? Like not the dirty stamina, I mean like that, but I mean like that.
Well, that's all of us are gonna think that anyway.
But I meant like that, you know what I mean? Like the emotional stamina. Like I don't know if I could like follow through on that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Zeke, yeah, and I might still have a couple like last weekend. We are both very honest. We're here for a good time, not for a long time. And he watched the live stream yesterday. He's like, I love how freaking bluntly honest you are. Like he had to watch it the very next day. Some other dude was hitting on me, you know. But he was like, "You're awesome. Let's kick it again." Cool.
Yeah. So right. I mean, like let's not end this saying like the very next person you meet is the person that's going to be Mr. Madden next. There may be a couple, but like you are ready to accept that person that wants to settle down, be exclusive, and move on to something more.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And
good morning, Richard.
6 years. Good for you.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did, and I had a lot of fun.
You did, absolutely. You went to Jamaica. You did a lot of things. You did things in these last 6 years that you have not done in a long time.
No, never. I had a lot of, I bought my paddleboard. I learned how to be alone, like eat alone, go to events alone, travel alone. Like that was the biggest one for me. Cause usually I'd always have to bring like a girlfriend or somebody with me, but nope. I love traveling alone. I get lost. I go where I want, for how long I want. I nap. I love it.
Yeah. That's, you know, when you say travel alone, that was one of the first things I did when, like, I didn't travel alone, like go to Jamaica, but like when I was no longer living with anybody, the first thing I did was go to Tahoe for a week and go to San Francisco for a week by myself. And I mean, I hung out with people, but like by myself, you know, like, and that was also a big thing for me, like going to movies on my own, sitting down and eating on my own. Like I'll go to a diner on a Sunday and sit at the counter and read a newspaper like an old man because I've done that for the last 20 years. But like go to a restaurant and have a dinner by myself at a table.
Okay, that is different. Because like my buddy was saying the other night, he's like, we have been going to the same place every night. I'm not going to say it's well known. He's not mad at it. He just wanted something nicer. He's like, so there I am eating nicer by myself with the salmon and a glass of wine. And I'm sitting there all by myself. He goes, and I've been alone my whole life. And it was the most awkward situation. Just so awkward.
Because a diner counter is just, I mean, go back to Stars Hollow and Gilmore Girls. All right.
Yeah.
You go to Luke's Diner, like Luke's Diner at the counter the counter is different. If you're sitting at the table with Rory, you're there with a friend. If you're at the counter, you're talking to Luke. But if you're sitting at the table and you're Rory, you're not by yourself ever. You're always at the counter. I
tell myself that every time I walk through the hotel. I'm like, I'm only going to stay if there's a seat at the bar for me to sit by myself. I'm not going to sit at one of these tables by myself. And I do. And if I find one, cool. And if I don't, I just walk through and go home.
And so that's, for me, that's my next growth, is being okay with going into a restaurant and sitting down at a regular table and having steak by myself.
But that's also works to my advantage sometimes, because it's very rare that somebody needs one seat.
True.
Because with their outside bar the other day, the place was packed. Elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, like COVID doesn't exist, packed, right? You know what, though? There was one seat at the bar. Plop, yep. There I go. There I go.
You know when that doesn't work? Mother's Day.
Why?
There are no seats anywhere on God's green earth for at least 45 minutes, no matter where you go past 8:30 on Mother's Day.
Because then you try to go eat alone and you couldn't even find a single seat?
Not at the counter or anywhere. I literally got have a seat. It'll be about 40 minutes. And then like a family of 4 came in. Have a seat. It'll be about 40 minutes. I'm like, I'm 40-minuted with the family of 4? Are you kidding me?
It was Mother's Day. Stay home. You ain't a mom.
Wait, right. Hey, as a single, well, no, I guess not. Never mind.
I bet I would have got a seat before you.
You know what? Probably, but also there's a very good opportunity or a very good chance you would have gotten, oh, also one, please have a seat. It'll be about 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. And then there's this guy that was hitting on me for like 3 days in a row, and I had to go do something at my other job for just a second, come right back. And I told him, if you want my number, you're going to sit in this seat until I come back. He goes, okay. And he sat in it. And I went, did what I had to do, and I came back, and he's still sitting in my seat. And I still went home with somebody else. Poor guy. You know why? He was funny, tall, good looking, rich, and he didn't even tell me that, his friends did. But his name was Joe, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. All the things. He came after me 3 days in a row in a respectful but funny, flirty way. Didn't do it right away. Was funny. His friends were funny. Tall, good looking, right? Drove a nice bike. His name was Joe. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Gotta draw the line somewhere.
Yes. All right.
No, I get that. I mean, the name thing is legit. It's a legit thing.
Isn't it weird? It's weird, right?
It is a legit thing because there's like anybody with my ex's name has done nothing wrong when I met them. Just they carry the name, you know. And I'm sure it's the same. I mean, I can't imagine how many Ians you're going to run into, but
yeah,
if you come across an Ian and you know me, chances are you're also going to think of me because you don't know that many Ians.
I know one other Ian up here, and he's ruining it for all the other Ians because he's awful.
Knock it off, dude. Like,
yes. I hate for you that this guy's name is Ian.
I've spent 42 years battling Ian Ziering. It's pronounced Ian. Battling the fact that nobody has this name until now. People are popping up with it. Being okay with being Ian, Ion, Egon, Igor, and then you got to come around, dude. Thanks.
I know. He's so bad. He's so bad. Yeah.
Knock it off, Ian and Murphy's.
All right, you guys, where are you going for Taco Tuesday?
I think I'm going to stick, if I don't have them delivered, I think I'm going to stick close to home. My Taqueria Modesto up off of Stanford and McHenry.
Okay, well, I'm going in a rip in to get my nails done. So I think I'm going to do El Jardín. Every time we talk about Taco Tuesday, I talk about the shrimp tacos, and it's been over a year since I've had them. So I think I'm going to go get some takeout.
I've never been to El Jardín, but does El Jardín do a special on their tacos on Taco Tuesday? Because that's what I search for on Taco Tuesday.
I don't know the answer to that, but okay, I like all the El Jardines. But if I'm craving shrimp tacos, I only go to the Manteca one. They're different. They just hit different.
It's a little different for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, and you know what's funny about that is my family used to have a restaurant, and we bought the name and the recipes from another guy. And when he was doing it, he was telling us, he's like, when this is all said and done, no matter where you go, if it carries the same name, it should taste the same. If I make it, if you make it, or if the guy off the street makes it, if he's following the recipe. And he goes, but for whatever reason, he named it smoothie. He goes, people come in and ask me specifically to make this one, and I don't do it any different than anybody else, but they think that I do.
But they might. Things like a Diet Coke from McDonald's hits different than any other Diet Coke, and it's Diet Coke.
And
you know what I mean?
Because
the shrimp tacos at El Jardín Manteca are different than any. I will order shrimp tacos at the highest, most expensive Mexican restaurant or at a dive Mexican restaurant. They are not going to taste the same as the shrimp tacos at El Jardín in the Manteca location. Nope.
When you get that Diet Coke next, ask yourself, because I don't know the answer to this. Ask yourself if it's the size of the straw or the taste of Diet Coke, because I think the straw is larger than most straws. And I'm wondering, because for me, the regular Coke hits different too. And I can't figure it out. I can't.
Like, I'm literally, as soon as we're done with work today and I'm headed into the valley, the first place I'm going to stop is get my $1 Diet Coke at McDonald's. It's different. And I had time after dropping the kids off to stop and get one at the gas station. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be driving in the valley in a few hours. I'll just get one then.
Thanks for coming to our Diet to our Diet Coke.
But people on here, no, because we've talked about it before, that it's just different at this one certain location. Because you had something too.
Yeah, and I can't remember what it is now. But I know I have. I know exactly what you're talking about. Your experience is not individual to you. There are so many places where it's just different there.
Yes.
There really are.
All right, you guys. Happy Taco Tuesday. Stacy thinks it's the straw.
I think
Stacy's from Manteca. Don't those shrimp tacos at El Jardín Manteca hit different than any other shrimp tacos? Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. They're so good.
I had tacos from a taco truck in Turlock last night. I wish I could remember which one it was, but they used flour tortillas instead of the corn tortillas, and I think I prefer that on a street taco.
Get off my stream.
I'm sorry.
Flour tortillas do not belong on a street taco. They don't.
The corn tortillas stick to each other. They have to use two. They fall apart. A flour tortilla is just more practical.
No, it doesn't taste this. No way. Get out of here. No, you and I are never going to agree on this. Like literally the reason I used to not enjoy the Mexican pizza because that was not on corn. That was some weird flour shell.
Hey.
And get out of here. Flour shells are for burritos only.
Call it Frisbee golf again and I'll find something else you love and trash it.
No, flour tortillas are for burritos only. Or flatas.
Oh, flatas. Okay.
White girl. Is it flatas? Am I saying is it flatas?
I don't know. I don't know. You're right.
I hope I'm not offending. Let me write some people.
I celebrate Taco Tuesday because I love tacos. I literally get nothing else except for the chips and the salsa that are free.
All right. We're gonna jump off. Glad you guys were here for my ghosting story. I probably won't see that guy again. Or I will, and it won't be as awkward because at least we talked it out.
You're gonna see him again. I think you will.
Just run into him.
I think you'll run into him. Yeah, I think you'll run into him, and I think that you guys played it correctly. And I think that if you run into him and he's in a different spot, I think maybe you guys are in a spot where you might get along.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Get flour tortillas on your street tacos.
No.